Discipline Stoners!
The gateway drug to mindfulness.
Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit.
And welcome back to another episode of Discipline Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
And we're happy to be here. Why? I'm not sure. But you should be too, because something special is about to happen.
Oh, you know, if you live your life on the edge of believing that something special is always about to happen, I think more often than not, you'll probably find that something special happens.
Give yourself a little spritz and embrace life. You want a spritz?
Okay, I'll take a spritz.
We have a unisex Neroli Portofino. Tom Ford.
We got it as a gift.
Yeah. Very grateful. Very love it.
And it smells like summer to me.
Smells like summer in Malibu.
Oh, goodness. I love it. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for listening in and tuning in.
And if you're just joining us for the first time, get ready, because we're about to fuck up the reality in a great way. Okay. No, we've been reading some great books lately. And if you could go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell and share this with a friend, that'd be great too.
Yeah. So something that you spoke about today was a producer that you work with. I've kind of changed the story a little bit to protect other parties involved.
Okay.
A producer that you work with has access to a lot of other incredible musicians, but specifically this person like chooses to work with you, like wants to work on your stuff and like wants to like uplift and enhance what you do already.
Yeah.
And I loved that so much because all of the other musicians that this person could work with and they have access to, they're brilliant. They're brilliant musicians.
So good.
And they have so much to offer.
I always try and push musicians and producers together.
Absolutely. And I thought that was just a beautiful example of how there actually is enough for everyone because not everyone does the same things.
Yeah.
And I think that like so often we're sitting in like this almost unconscious form of lack because we see people who are doing what we want to do or working with people who we want to work with, and it reminds us that we're not doing those things or not working with those people, and then you kind of spiral into this like state of lack. But I remember when I was before I booked Christmas by Chance, my mantra was like, the perfect role is coming for me. Like I can't have every role.
So good.
That would be ridiculous to have every role. That would be boring for the viewers. And there's so many good artists out there that want to express as well.
I could not play Ray Charles.
Well, exactly.
It wouldn't be authentic to the story. I'm glad that there's other actors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if you change your focus, like your goal from like a more
roles.
General goal of like, oh, I just want to book something. Like I'm talking about me personally. This is gonna like all of our listeners, whatever your goals are in life. But like for me, what was I saying?
Yeah, don't worry about the disclaimer. I don't know. They know that you're gonna transpose. Like, if you're always gunning for all the roles as opposed to just the ones that are right for you.
Yeah, exactly. So. Right off the top, I know this is really quick, but I really wanted to say, like, if you if you do affirmations and speak, things into existence as we do here.
And we have affirmations on our Spotify as well that you can stream.
Yeah, maybe add, if you're creating your own affirmations, add, like, for me at the end of it. This situation is going to work out perfectly for me rather than this situation's going to work out perfectly or everything's always working out for me. Like add yourself into these affirmations that you're saying so it becomes more personal, because I really think that like if you're an artist that feels the need to express, there's someone out there that feels the need to absorb your art. Like there is.
And trust that you're being guided to like do it at the perfect time in the perfect way.
Yeah. And that could even, if we have listeners that aren't in like the arts, quote unquote, because we think all people are creative, but think about, that the meeting the perfect people that will get you the promotion, or being able to articulate clearly to your boss what areas you really find exciting, and then bring more of that. Like, focus on the good aspects of your current situation and then ask for more of it, and get personal with it.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, and also remember that, like, you may not be creative, but you are always creating your reality. You're creating it, and we do this with our thoughts. And what I've been breaking down a lot lately is through self-assumption. As Neville Goddard, talks about this so thoroughly, about presuming your own preferred state in your head to create that sort of inner frequency of what you would be in that reality first, and you will actually draw that reality to you. And that seems like a bit of a conundrum for most people, because most humans are not out ahead of it. They're reacting to things that they may or may not like, and like that kind of runs your life. But if you take hold, I just had a fun interaction with someone briefly about capitalism, and I phrased it like, the slave needs the master just like the master needs the slave, and you decide which side you're on, meaning you're either a seller or a buyer. And if you're being a buyer in any situation, know what role you're playing and know what you're supporting and why. And then if you're a seller, you're better off being a seller most times, because you have more insight to the situation. So I took that concept for a little ride there, but ultimately it leads back to the idea of your self-presumed life is what that state you manifest, and that state, if you perpetually stay in it, becomes your life.
Yeah. And if you don't want to be a buyer or a seller, then like that's a possibility too. I don't think
you could just
there
move
are
off
limits
grid
here.
Yeah, you could just move off grid.
Like, that's for me. Moving off grid is like, I don't want to do that. I like people too much. I like society.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, but like,
I know. Shout out Sia and Kristen. They had kids, and they're just like pretty much off grid. They're he's my hero.
Yeah, I mean,
good dad.
Yeah, my
still
first
creator.
yoga family, they became nomads. Their Instagram is Nomad Yoga Family.
Love it.
And they really started living. We have examples of people who, and it actually sometimes comes after an event that
is almost traumatic.
Traumatic, but
or very sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they decide like how they've been living isn't enough. They're like, oh, like you get this sort of harsh smack on the hand. That's the real the reality of our mortality sometimes.
The reality of our mortality.
And then you see these people go through these hardships, and
it's almost like a wake-up call.
And then be like, how do I really want to spend my time here? Because there is nothing guaranteed. And I've always looked at those people with such awe and
admiration. Like even our friend Scott of Loved by Hollis.
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna have him on. It's not my story to tell; it is his. But essentially, like, his wife passed. Like, what could be more painful than that, really? And then, but he manifested it into alchemy, into this business, into this product, and is continuing life from there.
And moved across the country, like changed his life because it wasn't enough.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, everybody! Get your joints.
Yeah, light up. I just went ahead and lit up. Why? Because this is that true OG.
Yeah.
And Daddy's excited.
This is from a group called Truro, Truro. New to 1922, new to me, but not new to market.
Incredible, though. True OG. Like, if you've been smoking weed for more than 10 years, you remember getting some OG Kush.
Yeah.
That's a relative of that original plant.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, life is really what you decided to be. And the more I talk to like old people or extremely successful people or people who have had trauma with significant life events, we'll call it, the clarity is just unreal. They're like, don't waste time. Don't hesitate. Give flowers to the people who you think deserve it. That's why you see me on my text. I'll just like send love, check on someone, let them know I'm grateful for them, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And just like send those flowers and do what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone, anything, any authority. There is no authority over you.
Yeah.
You are free, even if you're in a fucking dictator country, even if you're in a third world, like legit, like if you like, and there's war going on right now, like somehow and all that, it is the human experience to find freedom inward.
Yeah.
And by your choices, by your virtue of what you manifest, because there's no rules. Matter isn't so. Matter manifests after the fact of thought vibration.
There was, we have been going to comedy shows and I've been doing open mics.
So fun.
So hearing a lot of concepts from comedians. And the last one that we went to, there was a comedian that was like talking about what old people said at end of life stages about, you know, what they had learned or what they wished they had done differently. And I mean, her joke was like, it was all very like, say I love you more and stuff like that. But her joke was like, I bet it's like, what it really is like have more butt sex or like, you know, do like whatever. I don't remember where I was going with this.
She did say floss.
Oh yeah, floss more. That's what was one of them.
Oh, it's one of them. It says they wish they flossed more. So I've been trying to do that more. I'm going to the dentist this week.
Yes, you are. How do you
Crazy.
feel about that?
So scared. So
Yeah,
scared. And
I
it's not
know.
going to be scary. I don't have any pain. We're just like getting some of that nice white plastic to getting rid of some like little dark spot or something back there. It's the first time I went to the dentist since I was like a teenager.
Yeah, so I think you did really good. You have a couple of fillings that you're gonna get, no
Yeah,
problem.
fillings.
Bing, bang, bong, boom, and
Dude,
then
like it's not anywhere where it's hitting a nerve, so it doesn't hurt. But I am scared of maybe the potential scraping that may
Yeah.
happen to get some of the dark off like best
Yeah.
they can. But I just gonna have to just not be a little bitch for a couple seconds.
use your tools.
Use my like against the dentist, like use tools.
No, your mindful tools.
My mindful tools. That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
You're gonna go
Not
in.
react.
You're gonna blueprint the shit out of this.
I'm gonna segment intent, and it's gonna be painless, and I'm gonna be fine. And we're just gonna get it done, and then it's gonna be fine. And then we're
gonna
only doing
listen
one
to,
side.
a lot of like frequencies and positive boosting affirmations on the drive there.
Yeah, and when I got my teeth cleaned like last week or last month, I listened to my music,
Yeah.
so that was cool.
Nice.
So I'll probably
there
just
you
do
go.
that.
Yeah, just pop those in and
Yeah.
no problem. It's going to be great. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really, I'm one of those people that's like doesn't go to the doctor, doesn't go to the dentist, but am very like healthy overall. And I just
You are very healthy overall.
I just
and
like don't
these
do
people
that.
are here to help us maintain. And I think
keep it even more healthy.
I think teeth health is important.
Oh, it's so oral health is so well because I am good at oral hygiene, but as naughty over the pandemic, I'm not gonna lie, I'd fall asleep after eating naughty treats more than ever,
Yeah,
which
know.
was not wise
But
and not
hey,
cool.
well, it happened. No problem.
Yeah, but I did brush away darkness most times.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
really know the ins and outs of that, so I can't.
If it's just surface area, then I just like scrub it away somehow. I don't know. It's like I think it's a mind-body manifestation, but
Can we take a moment and bless the dentists?
bless the dentist because
What a job, and the dental hygienists. Like,
they were not having it.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you think there's a lot of dentists that have like an oral fixation?
Oh shit.
Because I think that you have to somewhat like be interested in what you're doing
In the mouth.
day to day, especially if you're a doctor. Damn, like you got to be interested a little bit. Like you're taking care of other people. Like other people's shit is like based on your knowledge. So I would hope that you'd be some type of interested in the subject that you're an expert on.
Fascinated, yes. I don't know if like interested like through some sort of fetish though.
No, not necessarily like sexually.
Right.
I guess is oral fixation mean sexual?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I translate it as that, but if that's not what you mean, good clarification. The smoke is hitting the heat and it makes it go faster. It's so cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Science. Science, not the science. The science is political. Science is just science. Holler at your boy. Bars.
Whoa.
It's been an adjective-filled couple of years, folks. But anyway, doing things that you're scared of is definitely what's up, especially if they are for the betterment overall.
Yeah.
It means
okay.
that
So
it will just stop the rotting, and it just
yeah,
caps
exactly.
it. That's fucking dope.
And I did that in February too. I started doing stand-up again, which is something that I've always felt is really scary.
Yeah, talk about that. Tell us about your journey since doing stand-up. This has been really fucking fun to be back and see
Well,
you
I
do
think that we've mentioned this before, maybe, but I don't remember the exact quote, but something like "freedom is on the other side of your fear" or something like that.
Discomfort or something.
Like anything that you've ever done that you go into that makes you uncomfortable, generally, I would say like 85% of the time you come out of it being like, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Or like, that's the shit and I'm addicted to it now.
Yeah. So when I first got a tattoo, I was prepared for pain, and I will say that the experience lived up to what I was prepared for.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You felt
It was as
painful?
bad as I thought it was going to be.
Shit.
So it doesn't happen every time. Of course, nothing can happen every time. We don't make generalized, or we do sometimes make generalized statements here, but I think I also wanted to let people know that that's like, sometimes that's not for everyone, or a lot of times that's not for everyone. I actually...
What isn't? Getting tattooed?
No, generalized statements. Like, it can...
I don't think generalized statements are wise at all.
Well, it's interesting because I saw this psychiatrist or therapist on Instagram, and essentially she was talking about this sort of trend that has gone on in well-being where someone has gone through a traumatic event, and then after that traumatic event, they, sort of find themselves through like tools and therapy and whatever. And then they get on the other side of it and they're like, I really want to share this with everybody.
Right.
And that is like awesome. I think that's awesome.
Of course.
But it can't necessarily be applied to every individual. And it's crazy
because,
that we have to say that, but it's true. Like if something that you're listening to on this podcast, you're like, I don't agree with that, or like, I don't know what you're saying, or I don't think that's how it works. You're right.
You're right for you.
Yeah, I just want to say that. Like,
totally.
Not,
oh my God.
Not everything is for everyone, and I think we're actually moving more and more into that, where we're going to start seeing
we
people.
even seek out disagreements
We
now.
do.
Whether we think we like it or we don't. We actually go there for this. That happens in teams and families too.
Yeah.
Like, we're just connecting more with the whole. It's mycelium,
Yeah.
as you're saying now.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, I think things will start to settle a little bit as we keep on evolving and sort of like finding peace and flow within communities, because it does feel separate right now. And I'm not telling that story often because I don't want that to be the case, but the reality
you are
is
a receiver and a broadcaster. So
Yeah.
you receive, so you can feel and you can observe and you can broadcast and you can create. So it's okay to see what it feels like, but then it's what story you perpetuate in your head will manifest your experience.
yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. That's beautiful. I know it's become a lot more easy to disagree with people and just be okay with that and like wish someone well. And
Yeah.
like, I can't believe how explosive we used to be at each other as soon as we disagreed, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so funny
it's a healthy
too, because
part of being different.
like I named this podcast based on like the hurt that I was feeling for, I guess, not like being sort of like the girl next door role model that was placed on me, and that also I wanted to be. Like it goes both ways.
For sure.
I'll admit that.
For
yeah.
sure.
But now I'm just like, yeah, it's not for everyone. So like, that's okay.
Yeah, dude. I've been thinking about this a lot as far as like separation, segregation, persecution and stuff has been kind of titillating, interesting places. Like
Titillating.
Some parts right now you can't even say. They're saying in schools you can't say gay. Like just bizarre separation and stuff like that, and then like the treatment of anti-vax people like that, but they're not anti-vax people who didn't get this last gene therapy thing. Like, there's so much like pointing going on, and like one side calling the other side sheep and putting them down. Like there's so much pointing going on that somehow this cataclysmic fuckery that eventually like kind of led to this war. We will come out of it more aware.
Oh, yeah, we always do.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at, like, the things that present themselves as painful and triggering right now. One day, it's not going to feel like that.
Well,
I will look back at this and I will be happy that I went through these experiences because I so vividly know the value of blasting an opinion. Is it worth it, or is it worth it just to remain on harmonized bridges? Like, we become much more diplomatic mentally thanks to this whole experience. So it's like, I only see a future that's eventually going to have more respect.
Yeah, I mean, we have to hold that vision for sure.
If we keep riding this, because we don't have a choice, we have to become more self-aware. You can be mad or you can be happy about it, but you have to become more self-aware.
Yeah, I mean, and history also tells us that, like, one thing leads to another, so we don't even know what the events of today are going to lead to.
Yeah, like, think about, like, I thought about this idea that is much separate, especially in Ontario here. Things are opening up again. They're dropping, like, the mandates, stuff like that. And
we have that Mac, too.
Oh, you want to smoke that Mac?
Why not?
Fuck yeah, let's do it. We're partying. We'll move off these kind of trigger topics in a moment, but more so I'm fascinated with the human evolution side of it and how we can grow our internal disciplines thanks to these circumstances. Kind of there's been some separation, but I'll tell you, ever since, and this may be like political theater, but ever since the war broke out between Russia and Ukraine, there's been a lot more solidarity between people, because it's like we were just dissing each other, causing fights because you decided to wear a cloth on your face and I didn't. But they're actually shooting fucking bombs at each other. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm feeling like that. I'm so, like, you're my neighbor. Like, sorry. Like, it's all good, Like, fuck, guys. Like, this is not the answer.
Yeah.
They're literally
and
going
it's nice,
like,
it's nice to see.
Do you want war? Do you want to fight? Because look, there you go.
Yeah.
Go. And we're like, no, please. No.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are sharing that right now, where it's like they've remembered that.
Peace is the answer.
Like unity, too.
Love, peace, unity. It sounds so fucking cliche, even coming out of my mouth. It's like, damn. But honestly, no, we got to remember that we're one. We all want to turn up. We all want to party. That was taken away from us. It hurt. We wanted to fight about it. We wanted to blame about it. But it's not each other who is for blaming. The people who are up making the mad money, they're laughing at us fighting each other.
Yeah.
This shit has been nothing short of really, really good business. If nothing else, it's been really, really good business for an elite group. And
good at business.
Good at business. And we've gotten a lot of Netflix series to carry us through. And I think that we've been fucking blessed. Like, this past 2 years has been really difficult and really glorious in a lot of different ways.
I've been feeling those sensations a lot. And I know that I keep bringing up death, but...
It's beautiful because we can't be so fucking scared of death.
Yeah, I have been feeling like just the beauty of life through death.
Ooh,
and it's
tell them again.
I've been feeling the beauty of life through death. It's heartbreaking, and it's also everything.
Oh my God.
It's also, it's
Fuck.
like it's the blood running through my veins, like it's this moment right now. It's speaking to you. Like
You watching us through this internet thing.
Moment by moment.
Are you kidding me?
This is a wild... Someone showed me...
This is a wild fucking timeline to be on. We are on a crazy timeline.
Yo, sorry, Shania.
Sorry, Shania. We coexist with fish? We have a reptile in water behind me?
And like someone, I don't know if this is fact or not, but that's okay because I never fact check. So someone showed me what's actually happening in our solar system. You know how we have our solar system and like it looks like all of the planets are going around the sun at the same time?
Because we are one galaxy of trillions.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So that's what it looks like. But in fact, it's us going around like the sun like this, and the sun and everything moving in space for like 70 million billion miles per hour. Like the whole galaxy is moving in space as we're moving around the sun. And for some reason, we're the only human beings in like as far as we have been able to look at, which is quite significant. Like if you see that one photo,
do you know why it's the sweet spot? So it's the third rock from the sun. So the heat and the earth
I get it.
I
just think it's mind-blowing that
literally
that hasn't happened in any other galaxies where there's a billion trillion suns and like a million billion planets. And like it
probably has.
It probably has,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like it's so vast.
We're going so fast they can't catch up to us.
Maybe. But the fact remains that we're the only thing that we know of like us in this entire universe that we've seen so far. And that is a lot to take in on like a day-to-day basis when you're, just moving through your day. Like if you just stop and
remember
be like,
what
I'm
you are
on a fucking rock that's twirling around the sun that is also moving in space as an entity.
Yeah, are you kidding me? You're just fucking Roger from IT in a dress shirt. Shut the fuck up, you bitch ass. You're a fucking collection of stardust that has divine love flowing through it, that can manifest anything, that your vision has been taken control of, and you've convinced yourself of an identity within an organism. The organism is happening. I'm not condemning anyone. I'm just saying there was something, to Winnie's point, there was something so much larger going on. There was something so much bigger.
Literally, even if there wasn't, even if like all that happened was like human beings will get born and they die and there's nothing else, there's still right now, like there's still this time to feel, to love, to have sex, to argue. Like it's not bad. What we are doing here is not a bad thing. It's an experience,
and it's so worth it.
And obviously that's hard to say for people who are losing people during this time.
But it's a gift. You got to accept it as a gift. This is a gift, and it's so sad, but death happens, and it's so sad, and there's no way around that. That was Keanu, right? And then Jordan Peterson rephrased it, reminded me, but I think Keanu said there's one thing in for sure. There's only one thing for sure about death, because everyone has their theories, what happens after, what your spirit does, and how that manifests. But the one thing is there's a group of people here still on Earth that will miss you very much and will be very sad that you're gone. And that, oh man, that's so fucking beautiful. Like that's so sad and so beautiful at the same time. Like
it's beautiful that we get to miss people.
Oh man, because it means that they've impacted you. Their love and your love seen each other, and you resonated about now at one point. So that's divine. That's a gift. You're telling me that every person who served you a cup of coffee isn't part of your divine plan? Like I love every person I've come across, every person who irks me and reminds me of things that I don't like about myself. And it's ultimately just us floating in space together, and you get this flesh. Like we're so distracted often. We're so distracted by the things on our desk that we forget, first of all, to be so fucking lucky to have a desk, to have an identity, to have a name, to do this thing, and even be part of an organism if that should so be your destiny at one point or another. That's fine. Like, It's beautiful that you're living an expression, but if we should decide to take life by the horns and like fucking really shake it up and have a profound like those once in a lifetime experiences like all the time, they can happen all the time.
And it's not even.
And you're not on
I think
tour every week. I'm saying they
yeah.
happen in your hometown.
I
You
think
can
it's
touch
up,
people,
it's
reach
up to
people.
you, to decide what
That looks like.
what is a miracle or not.
Because the
I
miracle
think that
is the
you can
bagel.
think everything is a miracle or nothing is a miracle, and you're gonna live that, like whatever you choose. And fuck, this like
I love this episode
polarizing
so much.
sensation that I've been feeling of like how painful and also gorgeous. It's weird. There's a lot of love involved in the pain as well that I've been feeling.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think like I don't remember.
I've never felt such frustration and such love at the same time.
Yeah.
We're at full capacity expression on both sides.
And it feels good. It feels better than just feeling pain.
It feels better than shutting it off even.
Yeah.
It feels better than numbing it.
Yeah.
Go towards the pain, feel it. I've chalked certain things up. Why do I feel compelled to share a sided opinion, whatever side it is, on social media? Why do I feel like to contribute to this noise? You know, why feel like so connected to that? And it's because like ultimately you're having an expression, but like what's the overall goal at the end of the day? And it's like to feel. I think I just want to feel. I think I just want to feel something.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've had to find different ways to feel things now.
Yeah.
And those little beefs that you used to be able to have with your day, even like just overall generally less exercise. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Unless you really do seek it out and create that for yourself, but like just overall, especially it being cold.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more walks and park time and random pull-ups and stuff, you know, and just wanting to feel. And then when I get over it and I forgive others and then I forgive myself for reacting, and so you stop the guilt cycle, so you stop yourself from having to go back and fix. There's no fixing it. Let it go.
Yeah.
No fixing it. Let it go. You express, that's fine. Let it out. Let it move on. And then really appreciate those who don't judge you for expressing yourself too. That's huge. You know, show love to those people and give them love and attention when they need it.
I think all of us, it would behoove all of us to expand our not patience for others. That's not exactly the right word that I'm looking for.
We'll tolerate these people.
Just, it would be a good idea to get a little bit more curious about where someone's coming from before you decide to write them off in any way.
Right? We all need to
Yeah.
understand a little bit more, even if we think someone's totally nuts.
Yeah. And I think going back to the pain, I kind of just realized it's the difference between feeling pain and either cutting it off, pushing it down, or running away from it. And that's its own like beast. That carries
own
a weight. Engine.
That carries a weight of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the opposite for me of that is feeling the pain and leaning into it and
expressing.
And exploring it. And that's where that beauty comes. When you actually explore what's going on, it's
so beautiful.
It's often only because you love so much that you feel pain. Like,
oh,
that's awesome.
It's awesome. It's because we're so scared. We're so scared running around in a frenzy. And it's silly that we can overlook the fact that this is all just because we're beings of love. And we're just going through love, and it's just love, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's
love
why...
hurts.
Yeah, that's why I need to allow myself to express sometimes, because it's like, I'm just going to go through this. Like, because like, I'm feeling this way. Like, I can't not express. And like, I've learned to put it in music, put it in art instead, try to do something more constructive with it, try to clean your desk, try to focus on business, try to, you know, do something good instead of just like go and fight with your fellow people, that really, if the fucking tanks were out, you wouldn't be so tough, would you? Because, like, there's a lot of people, you know, who went to war, and there's some who didn't. Like, right? Like, who are you? Like, you know, don't be involved in that. Be involved with the unity of the world. It's so beautiful. There's so much more in there for us.
Yeah.
We want to dance together. We want to play.
It is, I just want to say it is up to you as the individual to do that. Like, it's really easy. I want to acknowledge the fact that it's really easy for us to sit here in Canada and be like, don't be involved in war. But we're really...
Oh, no, I'm talking about on the day-to-day, like in your brain.
Yeah.
Don't contribute to the beast that is the negativity.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted to clarify that. Yeah. Yeah, we're often just at war with ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's where the cleanup happens. Create a peace treaty in there.
Yeah, because who is that? Ram Dass said, like, we if we heal ourselves, the world doesn't need to be healed. If we all individually heal ourselves, then the world is healed. It's like there's not a pesticide for feelings. Like, you know, like how in vegetable fields you got to spray pesticides, and it generally just like takes care of the bug problem. And it's like that's like a blanket. You know, it's a controlled thing. You know, but then what happens to those vegetables that get the pesticides? Right? They're not organic anymore. They lose their taste. They get a strange, like, kind of rubbery skin. You know, and that's, by the way, that's what we're eating when you buy stuff from, like, your average corporate grocery store.
That's why it's important to wash your fruits and veggies, which I will say
I forget all the
don't
time.
do as often as I should.
Also, go to those little vegetable shops as much as you can, where they get the organic stuff from local.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be really good. I love going there. You blow like $50 and you get a couple good big bags of stuff.
Honestly, if you live in Toronto and you're not hitting up the fruit and vegetable markets on Bloor, you're spending too much money at Loblaws.
Or there's one on College too.
There is, yeah.
It's always,
that is a good one. It's little.
Yeah, it has good stuff.
It does have really good stuff.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that place on Spadina, though, I went to shit the bed. I just realized all of these are exclusively, like, I believe, Chinese owned. Yeah.
Nice.
They're good produce. Shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fucking awesome.
Like medicine.
Classic medicine. This is what I believe the world will circle back to. Oh, so there's something really cool. So, you know, I wanted to share this with you. I watched this really nice, like, native foretelling, like, story, a legend, or I believe they call it, like, a legend. A prophecy. Prophecy. That's the word.
Okay.
It's a native prophecy of the Hippo people, I believe.
Cool.
I got to double check on this. There will be an overlay here on the podcast. It's a nice long one that says the world will get shaken 3 times. Now it's at World War III, literally, and like after, so it will get shaken, and each time there will be a bounce back of extreme like growth, like technology and stuff. But in the time when, and this is a really brutal kind of like sum up of it, but in the time when the humans take control of their gender, when women can be men and men can be women, it says that in it. So we're finally there. So people and friends are getting, you know, top surgery, all sorts of like just the sentient is more in control of what circumstance it wants to manifest than what it was given. So we've ascended to a certain point of like consciousness to where profound unity can happen. And what has happened, and if this is the native symbol that has, it's a circle and it's cut into like 4 squares kind of, and one is white, one is black, one is red, one is yellow. And in the prophecy, in the legend, it describes it as the 4 races of the earth. And it says it is the brothers of the East, our Asian brothers and sisters, are air, and that is the yellow. So it's the air. And so each race correlates with element,
Okay.
our earthly element. So it's our brothers and sisters of the East, that are Asian brothers and sisters, with the air. And what did they do? They mastered meditation, breath. They became one with the air, so they guided us. So
Cool.
the human race, our experience on the rock, our sentientness, has followed this in the unity. And the prophecy says once the four align, then we are ready to become in harmony in one. And this will be shortly after the world is shaken a third time. So it's very good news, and it's a very exciting time to be on Earth. So let me finish the four. And we have the... I believe it's so I'll do this one. It was our black brothers and sisters of the West, and this is in Kenya, or like the West, and it's water. So our black brothers and sisters became one with water, and that can be shown in I can't remember this one. Oh, it's so good. I don't want to make it up because the real one's so good.
Yeah, don't make it up.
I won't make it up. So we'll put that information here. I'm trying my best to get through this, but it's always like black west water, yellow east breath air, and it is the white, which is the Caucasian peeps, and they worked with fire. And look at all the inventions that white people made. Cars, which is a spark. Airplanes, things from combustion engines, from fire. This isn't the prophecy. This isn't me, but it's pretty fucking trippy that the contributions from like water, and there's depth there, the power of the depth in the water in black. This could allude to black culture too, as a manifestation of humans too. But I'm sure there's direct connection with water in Kenya or something. And then, so here's the one we've been neglecting though, guys. Our native brothers and sisters of the earth, the red, we have not allowed them to manifest their full highest potential and listen and tune in.
Yeah.
We've tuned into our brothers and sisters. You picture a monk. I say monk. What race do you picture? Asian.
Yeah.
Me too, right? So like just by association, like meditation, air, you associate it. Like, right? So we're guided. And the beautiful flowing water essence of our black brothers and sisters, and that manifestation that we'll clarify. And then white folks with our fucking fire. There's
Ragers.
There's so many parallels of overbearing. We've had some time on the earth. Whew. And now we have to, and I believe we are through what? The earth, our brothers and sisters, native, chanting, drumming, connecting, earth, plant, earth. We're now listening. Tune in with plant medicines, smoke weed, do mushrooms. I'm serious. Listen to these tales. Learn about this stuff.
To the cycle of the human being, the highest and greatest powers that we have will be released to us and be released from that light or soul that we carry to the mind. But right now we're coming to the end of the animal cycle when we have investigated ourselves and learned what it is to be like an animal on this earth. And at the beginning of this cycle of time, long ago, the Great Spirit came down and He made an appearance. He gathered the peoples of the earth together, they say, on an island that is now beneath the water. And He said to the human beings, He said, I'm going to send you to 4 directions, and over time I'm going to change you to 4 colors. But I'm going to give you some teachings, and you will call these the original teachings. And when you come back together with each other, you will share these, so that you can live and have peace on earth, and a great civilization will come about. And He said, during this cycle of time, I'm going to give each of you 2 stone tablets. And He said, when I give you those stone tablets, don't cast them upon the ground. Because if any of the brothers and sisters of the 4 directions and the 4 colors cast their stone tablets on the ground, not only will the human beings have a hard time, but almost the earth itself would die. And so He gave us each a responsibility, and we call that the guardianship. And to the Indian people, the red people, He gave the guardianship of the earth. And we were to learn during this cycle of time the teachings of the earth and the plants that grow from the earth and the foods that you can eat and the herbs that are healing. so that when we came back together with the other brothers and sisters, we could share this knowledge with them, because something good was to happen on the earth. And to the south, He gave the yellow race of people the guardianship of the wind, and they were to learn about the sky and breathing and how to take that within ourselves for spiritual advancement. And they were to share that with us in this time. And to the west, where there's blackness of night, He gave the black race of people the guardianship of the water, and they were to learn the teachings of the water, which is the chief of the elements. It is the most humble and also the most powerful. And to the north, where there's white snow on this continent, He gave the white race of people the guardianship of the fire. And if you look at the center of many of the things they do, you will find the fire. In this light bulb, they say that is the white man's fire. If you look at the center of a car, you will find a spark. If you look at the center of the airplane, the train, you will find the fire. And the fire moves, also consumes. This is why it was the white brothers and sisters that began to move upon the face of the earth and reunite us as a human family, because they had the guardianship of the fire. This was their responsibility. And so a long time passed, and the Great Spirit gave each of the four races 2 stone tablets. Ours are kept at the Hopi Reservation in Arizona, at Four Corners area. I've talked to people from the black race of people. Their stone tablets are at the foot of Mount Kenya. They are kept by the Kikuyu tribe. I once had the honor of presenting a sacred pipe of the Kikuyu tribe carved from the red pipestone of Mount Kenya. One time I was at an Indian spiritual gathering. Medicine man from South Dakota put a beaded medicine wheel in the middle of the gathering, and it had the 4 colors in the 4 directions. And he asked the people, where is this from? And they said, oh, probably Montana, South Dakota, maybe Saskatchewan. He said, this is from Kenya. It was beaded just like ours, same colors. The stone tablets of the yellow race of people are kept by the Tibetans in Tibet. And the guardians of the traditions of the people of Europe are the Swiss. In Switzerland, they still have the mask day when each family brings out its mask. They still know the colors of their families. They still know their symbols, some of them. Each of these 4 keepers happen to be people that live in the mountains. If you went straight through the Hopi reservation to the other side of the world, you would come out in Tibet. The Tibetan word for sun is the Hopi word for moon, and the Hopi word for moon is the Tibetan word for sun, because they're on the opposite sides of the world. They said that the roads of this land would either go north-south or they would go east-west. If they went north-south, we would come together as brothers and sisters. But if they went east-west, there would be destruction, and almost the earth itself would have a hard time. So you all know the roads went east-west. They said things then would be lost from the east to the west. They would be lost from the south to the north. But they would come back from the west to the east and come back from the north to the south. So in 1976, from the west to the east coast of this land, from San Francisco to Washington, D.C., people carried a sacred pipe bundle by hand on foot across this land. Because they said if we carried this bundle across the earth, the powers would begin to come back. It was carried from west to east. They said a spiritual fire would be lit in the north, and it would come down the northwest coast of this land. This is it. We have the capacity to start the spiritual fire now here. The old people long ago seen it and foretold it. So we went through the cycle of time. Each of the 4 races went to their directions and they learned their teachings. And we were given a sacred handshake to show when we came back together as brothers and sisters that we remembered the teachings. It was indicated on the stone tablets that the Hopis had that the first brothers and sisters that would come back to them would come as turtles across the land. They would be human beings, but they would come as turtles. So when the time came close, the Hopis built a special village to welcome the turtles that would come across the land, and they got up in the morning and looked out at sunrise. And they looked out across the desert and they saw the Spanish coming covered in armor like turtles across the land. So this was them. So they went out to the Spanish man and they extended their hand, hoping for the handshake, but into the hand the Spanish man dropped a trinket. And so word spread throughout North America that there was going to be a hard time, that maybe some of the brothers and sisters had forgot the sacredness of all things. And all the human beings were going to suffer for this on the earth. So tribes begin to send people to the mountains to have visions, to try to figure out how they could survive.
There's so many native prophecies and tales. I grew up in British Columbia, so I got game on this early. I was so grateful for that. Like learning how to read totem poles, like the association with nature and like how they watch nature to be informed. It's honestly the closest thing to the Mayans that we have on Earth right now. But a motherfucking genocide happened, dude. A fucking genocide from the same people who tell you to do things now and you comply. Oh my God, I just crossed the line. Sorry. But there was a motherfucking genocide, and this was a big part of our heart on Earth was silenced. And we're still in that leadership and ruling today. We're still in it. So it's very uncomfortable for us to come to sentient awareness and still have the cuffs on and still see residential school history just come up within the last 100 years. That's heartbreaking. And we can start to accept it. It's too late for them. It's too late. Like there's, even if there's financial retributions, even if there's cultural retribution, we fucked up. And we're fucking up again by fighting each other over stupid shit like masks. Fuck. We are failing again. It's so
okay.
disheartening.
No, it's not.
But it's actually beautiful at the exact same time.
Yeah.
As you were just saying, it's actually part of something incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think that we need to look at the issues that we face. I have this conversation with my dad a lot, actually.
Yeah, just listen to the solution instead.
Anytime there's a problem, we work to create a solution until we find the solution, and we can best theorize what side effects, what consequences happen with these solutions. At best, we can only theorize based on the information provided for us. So then at that point, you have to let the solution run its course. But if you look through history, if you look through the advancement of technology, there always comes another problem. There's always a consequence to an action, and that will never not be as long as we're living on Earth. There will always be something to work towards. It could change. We could unite like humanity could unite, and we could have a problem outside of the Earth where we do have to all come together. But even then, like that show, Don't Look Up, there's people who will believe and there's people who will not believe on every single issue that we face on this planet. There's people who will have some opinions and other people that will have other opinions, and that is all part of the diversity that we get. Imagine like if all of us agreed all the time, oh my goodness, we would be so unfulfilled. These problems that we have, we started this podcast because we had a problem with the fact that weed was illegal and that people think it's like this really hard drug that hurts you when we know it is not.
How about those stoners who held it down for so long and they were persecuted and they were put in jail just for fucking having this medicine? They chose not to be addicted to pharmaceuticals and pills. And we're reading Ebb and Flow, Eben's book today. He was an NFL player, star player on the team, a model player, and he said the idea of having people find out that he was a stoner was just like, it was tremors. He couldn't. That haunted him to think that they would find out. And I'm like, what a fucking shame. What a shame, first of all, to shame people, to fucking make people feel like their choice that they're doing for them is any of your fucking business, first of all, and also just to like judge that. Like, someone wants to smoke a joint so like they don't feel anxiety and freak out at people. You want me to be fucking freaking out at people? you're gonna get fucking smoked, homie.
And-
like, you need to back off.
And I would argue that if there wasn't people like that, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation right now, which we find so much fulfillment and joy out of.
Oh, for sure. Everything's a blessing. We're alchemizing everything at all times.
But that's what I mean. Every time there's a solution, a new problem is born.
Every time there's a
we
problem, a
haven't figured it out
solution is
yet,
born.
But we're getting better, I think.
We're getting better every day.
We're getting better every day.
Man, life is cool. You're right.
So it's a crazy experience to, if you're out there and you're like, shit's crazy.
Because shit be crazy sometimes.
It is.
Sometimes life can be ridiculous. Life can sometimes be ridiculous.
That's true. Absolutely it can be. And it's okay to feel out of control. It's okay to feel really in control. It's just okay. Whatever's going on for you right now, like, I highly suggest that you explore. If it's really good, explore it. Why? What about it is it that lights your fire? What about it that makes your heart feel big and your body feel expansive and like you want to smile your biggest smile? What's going on in that moment? Explore that. Be curious. Enjoy it. Savor it. And then on the other end of that spectrum, like, if something not so pleasant is going on for you right now, be soft with yourself, but say, hey, what's going on? Why do I feel like this? Lean into it, because I really think that's where that shift in perspective from resistance to understanding, resistance to acceptance happens, and you can still feel pain and you still will be, but it doesn't have to be as torturous as maybe you've been making it. I know I've made it hard on myself.
Thank you, Dr. Wilhelmina. We'll be back next week with Dr. Phil when we explore childhood traumas.
Dr. Phil's coming on the show!
Yeah, we only have top TV doctors.
Dr. Phil, I don't think fucks with weed.
Well, he only doesn't like people who are not focused and not motivated. And when you hang out with dopers, lots of them are doing that.
That's true. He doesn't like people that are not focused and not motivated.
Yeah, but Dr. Phil, I don't think is a real doctor, so
That can't be.
Yeah, no, he's not a real doctor.
He's a doctor of some sort. He must be.
Look that up right now.
You can be a doctor.
When he's one of the
acting.
people that's like, is it on TV? Is it on
No.
the news? Then it must be true.
My acting coach, Barbara Schofield, had her doctorate in acting.
She's indoctrinated.
I don't know if it's the doctorate or
When you
she was a doctor of acting. Let me see.
The word indoctrinated is into things, and when that's used, I don't know what the application is valuable for. Is it a certain set of rules set forth by an institution that I'm supposed to uphold as has my best interest about this craft at heart? I don't know. Most schools are really just economic money funnels. Like, they're just like fucking amazing businesses. How dare you? Cornerstones fucking learning.
Rewind to when Evan said titillating. Titillating. Arousing mild sexual excitement or interest. Salacious. Okay, that was titillating, meaning because I had looked that up and then I put my phone down and forgot.
Titillating.
Doctorate.
What did I use titillating for?
I think negativity can be titillating. I think that's what you used it for. Doctorate, the highest degree awarded by a graduate school or other approved educational organization. So maybe it doesn't make you a doctor.
Educational organization.
But it comes from the medieval Latin doctoratus, made a doctor. So basically she was a doctor in acting.
Oh, like Ross Geller is a doctor.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's some kind of doctor.
What does that mean? Like, exactly.
And like Dr. Joe Dispenza, I think, is like a chiropractor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Of chiropractic medicine and just go into the void. So Dr. Joe Dispenza healed himself of the C-word disease, right? So many people have healed themselves when they've believed in the power of the mind, essentially, and like they healed their
I
cells.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
He healed himself, and that's been a really fascinating thing to hear, because when people really do decide to, you can sit here and yank and go case by case basis that are kind of like Dr. Joe Dispenza's books are full of stories and anecdotes about like specific stories with specific dates that you could find the data on. if that kind of gets you. But for me, it's like this deep intuitive knowing that if you breathe right now, you're essentially giving your body everything it needs. Get into your cells, put your focus and your energy from the very center of your cells, feel them vibrating. You're flickering light, your organs are going, everything's working for you. Now live. Right? There should be not much more attention given but to that.
True.
Your systems are going, live.
Yeah.
And then if stop, go down and heal, sometimes heal. And then you literally soak up energy when you stop outputting, and then you'll be healed. And then however you decide to do that, medicine, massages, food, it's good. You know what's so wild?
What?
I'm baffled that people don't realize food is medicine. Did you always realize that?
I feel like if you asked point blank anyone that question, you
Right.
go, is food medicine? I think they would say yes.
They would say it. No,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's what I'm reading. My next book is Awareness versus Implementation. So that's right. Do they know it? Right. But we
Or
don't
do they
treat it.
use it?
We don't treat it as so.
Yeah. Sometimes we do.
A lot of people are starting to, and a lot of people do.
Yeah. I think a lot of people probably even eat cleaner.
Put it in the comments if you're someone who treats your body right.
Yeah. I follow this woman on YouTube called Sorella Moore. She's a finance educator.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about her diet, and she really only eats like the freshest stuff. She lives between Australia and Poland, and she talked about it, and it was really because like processed sugars made her feel really, really, really bad. She could get through her day, but like that's exactly what it was, getting through her day. So she was one of those people that was so affected by it that I'm sure anyone who changed their diet from letting go of processed sugars completely and just having like fuel would probably see a significant difference, but it would take time.
Well, you lose weight in all the little areas of your body that just look like health when they're gone. Like when you cut certain glutens out, like stop eating candy and like refined sugars like chocolate bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, just like snack foods.
Yeah.
I remember doing this when I was so broke that you couldn't afford snack foods. If you'd score a donut, you'd fucking do it. but like really, it was just like meals, like just like lean meals. And like, fuck, that shit was so good. You look so healthy. Vital.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
you really need to be nurtured by the sun. Your soul has to be nurtured by some sort of activity, whether it's music or art, or you're getting something.
Yeah.
Whether you play with your family, some people get that.
Yeah, everything's medicine if you look at it like that. You need to be nurtured in your relationships.
Everything's medicine. I love y'all.
Yeah.
Everything's medicine.
Yeah, all of this is for our ability to thrive.
I know everything's here to help us, presumably. We attach fears to things and we put labels on things, but it's all
like,
good.
Abraham actually even says things that you eat affect your body because you believe they will. And they use this excuse that Abraham's medium, I guess, Esther, the woman who channels
her.
Abraham, says that Esther believes that when she has too much sugar, her knees swell. And like they state very plainly that wouldn't be the case if she didn't believe it. And that's so hard to wrap your head around when you're the person experiencing it. But
Yeah.
I think it's true. I definitely try. I try to implement like releasing any type of belief from especially when I'm feeling like physical things. But yeah, we are really ingrained. Like we have beliefs from a young age that like if you don't lean in, if you don't get curious about that pain, like you're just going to continue to believe exactly the same thing that manifested in the first place.
And when do you break out of it? When do you become a critical thinker if you've just been following the rules all your life?
Listen, you can still follow the rules and be a critical thinker.
Well said. I got 2 stories about Abraham/Esther and food. One, that great story about that dinner with the supermodel, skinny as a stick. She eats 2 meals and 3 desserts. And Esther's like, hope you understand, we can't be friends. And then the model goes, I just have a good relationship with food. And it's like, we're friends. We're friends, me and food. And I immediately resonate with that. And that's how I be eating grilled cheese at 3 a.m. because I love this grilled cheese. I'm cooking it. I'm feeling it. I'm with it. It's giving to me. It's nice. And then, you know, if you need the energy, it hangs out in your body for a while, and then you can just use it and burn it off. It's just there's fuel. It's your friend. It's in and out. It's like the flow of prosperity. It's abundant and forgiving and nice.
I mean, and I will also say that I have a lot of strong beliefs that smoothies and fresh juice give me energy, and that's what I receive when I have those things.
Yeah.
Like,
Or you generate.
yeah.
Yeah. And the other great story, me and Winnie had a rip. I know we were talking about how the fate of that happened, but we wanted to share and document kind of like a big mission statement that is around here, the Disciplined Stoner Studio, and a big part of our underlying belief about our understanding about life now, and an intentional one, is life is like a buffet. So when you go to a buffet and you see a bunch of things that you resonate with and you put them on your plate and you're like, this is awesome. Do you look at the things that you don't resonate with and say, why the fuck is this out here? Get me the chef so I can yell at him. And do you stand there and condemn other people for getting those things that you didn't resonate with on the buffet?
Can you imagine? Just let's stop that for a second.
know.
You're grabbing some sauteed mushrooms on the buffet,
Nice,
and I'm
nice.
just sitting there like, those are useless. Those are fucking disgusting, and they're not going to do anything for your body.
No,
You really shouldn't have them.
No, I like these.
They don't taste good to me.
No, but I come here all the time and I have them. I love the chef. Michael makes them for me. They're really good.
I've tried them multiple times, and I'm telling you, they are disgusting, and you're not going to like them. I promise.
Yeah, but I noticed that you have plum sauce on your plate. That's disgusting.
Because it's delicious.
Well, no, it's not. It's actually bad for you.
Maybe you should dip
signed
some
up-
plum sauce on your mushrooms.
Get
and
the
they'll
fuck away
be
from
better.
These mushrooms are perfect as they are.
Hey.
You are destroying this buffet with your shitty taste and plum sauce.
Don't talk about my plum sauce like that.
You have nothing else on your plate but fucking sauce.
I
You're
like
standing
to
here
eat
condemning
sauce.
people. You got stopped and
I like to eat sauce.
Is there even any left for anyone else? Scene. And so it's like, that's what has happened almost. Like with that argument, it's like, you're going to do something, you're not going to do it.
And
I
also,
hate you.
I
Relax.
I want, like, I love that example because that's so silly. Of course you're not going to put things on
child.
your plate that you don't want to eat.
So I don't want that thing, so I'm not going to do that thing.
No.
No problem.
And of course you're not going to be like, I wish that those mushrooms weren't out here because I don't like them. Of course you're not. That sounds ridiculous.
Or are you going to say like, hey, everyone who has mushrooms or everyone who got the mushrooms is like a fucking stupid idiot? No, just let people do their buffet in their version of their life. Focus on your own plate. What the buffet gives you, you can take what you like and enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's a cool concept about food and Abraham and about life. But what was that thing we were talking about with that girl who said, Putin, if I was your mother, I would have loved you more and I would have hugged you and you would have been better.
Okay.
And then the internet shredded her up.
Okay, so
and I think that's so mean.
So I brought this buffet concept home with the focus being the internet. So you definitely should and can and should apply it to like your everyday life. But I think that all of us, it would behoove, second time I've used that now today, all of us to to look at the internet as a buffet, and if there's something that we don't like, and I'm not talking like things that you need to be informed about and things that you need, like, you know, human rights, all of those things. But Annalyn McCord, which if you don't know, she wrote a poem and said a poem, a video online about being Putin's mother. And if you listen to all of it, I'm just going to, again, devil's advocate here and stick up for her. If you listen to all of it, what she was intending to get across was that someone who could do so much damage in this world and could be so cold and perceivably heartless most likely grew up in a situation that was really cold and damaged and heartless. That was the point of that video. And I think that that is something that we should all agree on.
Yeah.
I think that we should agree that he probably, it's more likely than not that he didn't have a loving environment.
We should
growing
see
up.
that. We should see that. Yes.
So, will I say it was untimely, her video? Yes, I think that this video could have waited, held off on internet land. But also, I didn't really love the switch of focus from the actual problem to this actress who was expressing her grief potentially, or, you know, whatever was going on for her.
You're allowed to express yourself, and that's...
She went completely viral, and a lot of people really
ripped on her,
shred her a new asshole.
Well,
and I mean, it's fucking funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of comedians.
On this?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So beautifully said. So well put. But honestly, I only knew what Winnie was talking about when she came home because she was like the face of several like video memes of like silly accounts that I follow on Instagram. And I, like Winnie, did not share favorable opinion on how this was being handled by the general public. It's super immature to mock someone like that, to like reach over someone being vulnerable and like mock them. It's very like shows where the maturity level of the internet is. It's like teenagers, like kids, like 12 years old. And mainly what concerns me actually about it is the fact of how the general information seeking world, cognitive thinking, scrolling human beings, how much they're locked into the masculine, the logic, the data, the hard edge, the often, doesn't have to be fear driven, but very hard edge logic, because this is nothing but a display of divine feminine energy. She's trying to open up a portal of forgiveness so there's more compassion on the earth by giving us understanding about this character that we're all facing so much hate at. He's only thriving with the more attention you give him. That's the way manifestation works. She's trying to like contribute some sort of divine feminine token, and you guys fucking destroyed her.
I don't know if you destroyed her.
No, you didn't destroy her.
She's
good.
She hasn't come out with anything.
Sorry. You guys fucking like destroyed it. Like you took it as weakness, and that concerns
and
me. And
selfishness.
For the general, like, you think that there's more value in this many deaths today instead of forgiveness
and
or some sort of
also,
character emoting. Like, that is, I do not like it. I'm not on it as much as I can not be on it. And I'm disappointed with you guys.
And also just finding, I think when I watched it, I get it. Like, I mean, I thought a lot of the responses were funny. A lot of people were, you know,
valid. It's valid.
Quite offended. But, and that's all. Yeah, that's probably valid too, depending on where those people are coming from.
Why are we condemning each other so much?
So that's where I wanted to implement the buffet rule, just for you and I, but you know, for our listeners as well.
You can share in our practice as well.
Like, if we see something on the internet that makes us feel cringe, makes us feel like someone else is being selfish, makes us feel little or small, that's part of the buffet that doesn't make us salivate. Go to somewhere that makes you drool, baby. Change your focus.
And maybe it's even another buffet sometimes.
Yeah.
Get off the app.
Yeah, for sure.
See how that feels,
Yeah.
buddy.
There's just so much. Ellevan and I have really only been at each other with like small digs and stuff based on like bullshit
Shit
on
from the internet. Like, honestly,
that's so fucking stupid.
So through and through. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We have no other issues. That's our issue. So
100% of our issues. Oh my God, we're just realizing this now. Ever since me and my in-laws have gotten along, it's eliminated our last actual real life problem.
Yeah.
Well,
relationship problem,
like of things that like we'd argue about. So literally 100% of our issues right now come from, I'm going to say specifically, Instagram.
And things outside of us that we really can't control, right? Like.
And what do you know? Were you there in person? Are you there everywhere across all these places? No, you're just taking it from what someone said.
Have you done all of the research? No, we can never.
And what is research? It's always changing. That term misinformation.
That's what I mean.
Are you fucked? Do you mean the evolving facts?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All the time, yeah. Anyways. Whew.
That's a good episode.
Go to somewhere that makes you drool. Ooh. Yeah. What is it time for? Yeah. What is it time for? Here it comes fun. Here it comes fun
fact.
Okay, listen up. Are you listening?
Yo, listen up. What I got to say. Fun fact, Winnie is on her way.
On April 24th, 2016, a man from the UK, Andrew Lawrence, ran 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 41 seconds in a banana costume during the London Marathon to secure the fastest time to run a marathon whilst wearing a fruit costume.
Oh. Ba-da-ba. Fun fact, Winnie. Fun fact.
Andrew, who is this legend? Ran 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 41 seconds in a banana costume to run the fastest time whilst wearing a fruit costume.
That's a fucking heavy-duty fact.
Banana? Can you imagine running in a banana costume and then running quickly? The London Marathon? I don't even know. How long is the London Marathon?
You're so silly.
Why?
I love this. I mean, silly in the best way.
The London Marathon is 26.2 miles in a banana costume.
That is profound. And for those Canadian folks or those folks in the UK, what is 2.62 miles in kilometers?
26.2 miles in kilometers is probably like, I don't know, probably like 40 kilometers.
Which is approximately from where to where?
Kilometers to miles. E-converter. Give it to me, Google.
Give it to me, Google.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly
for a white guy.
I don't know. I'm spending too much time on this, trying to figure this out. I don't know. It's about 40 kilometers.
Can you give us an approximate of how long that would be in a city block in Los Angeles, maybe from where to where on Hollywood Boulevard? From
no.
Highland and Hollywood.
Way far. 40 kilometers is so far.
Like, is it...
It's way past La Brea.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, 40 kilometers is a long...
So it's like 20 blocks?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to...
All right, well, I'm going to read something.
Yeah.
Okay, please say a page between 4 and 159.
41. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If you can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be great. You can leave us a comment on where podcasts need comments. That would be great. Follow us on Spotify. That's cool. You can watch this on Spotify as well now. So we're making waves.
We're coming up here now.
And your support means a lot. So thank you for listening.
Yes. Okay, so you said 41?
That's what I said.
Nothing exists outside the now. Aren't past and future just as real, sometimes even more real than the present? After all, the past determines who we are, as well as how we perceive and behave in the present. And our future goals determine which actions we take in the present. You haven't yet grasped the essence of what I am saying because you are trying to understand it mentally. The mind cannot understand this. Only you can. Please just listen. Have you ever experienced, done, thought, or felt anything outside of the now? Do you think you ever will? Is it possible for anything to happen or be outside the now? The answer is obvious, is it not? Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. What you think of as the past is a memory trace stored in the mind of a former now. When you remember the past, you reactivate a memory trace, and you do so now. The future is an imagined now, a projection of the mind. When the future comes, it comes as the now. When you think about the future, you do it now. Past and future obviously have no reality of their own. Just as the moon has no light of its own, but can only reflect the light of the sun, so are past and future only pale reflections of the light, power, and reality of the eternal present. Their reality is borrowed from the now. The essence of what I am saying here cannot be understood by the mind. The moment you grasp it, there is a shift in consciousness from mind to being, from time to presence. Suddenly, everything feels alive, radiates energy, emanates being.
That's why that was so beautiful. Thank you. Oh my God. That's why doing things that make you nervous force you into the present moment.
I love that.
Because you become hyper aware of like your surroundings. And that often is like, and you do feel alive. It is like thrilling. Yay, good. I went in there to look for something to make this this fancy thing that I was going to do for this thing, for the podcast, but I couldn't find it, but the power of now like looked up at me and I was like, "Oh, I'd love to read some of that."
That was really beautiful. Eckhart Tolle. I love him.
Yeah.
See how I tapped into his flow of pacing?
Yes. He's so cute.
He's a turtle.
Oh my goodness. He laughs at everything. He's so at peace. It's beautiful. Listen listen to some Eckhart on Spotify as well.
His heart's at peace, and he just found this through extreme pain.
Yeah.
And then just nurtured it and kept becoming one of the best thinkers we have at this time about the now. His heart's at peace. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Eckhart.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Eckhart. Bless you guys. Love you. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you could go ahead and subscribe.
Ding.
If you could drop a comment below, that would be much appreciated. And we're going to keep it going with the weekly episodes, weekly meditation. Winnie just dropped another great one, uplifting morning meditation. Feels good. I composed all that music. That was really fun.
Yeah, so fun. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out.
And share with anyone who you think would like to hear this conversation.
Yeah, we went places. This could be a really good episode, like that content that you like share with someone, you know, like you don't want to go there directly, but you're like, here, check out this episode.
We're bouncing back from last week's episode.
Yeah, last week was just pure party.
Yeah.
And we got back to the office this day.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Boom,
You
bang.
too.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Discipline Stoners.
The gateway drug to mindfulness.
Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit.
Hey, Win!
Oh my. Yes.
We got a new thing.
Oh, right. We need to tell you about our new thing.
Support the show now on Patreon and get a bunch of private perks.